Let me tell you about Eleanor. She's 73 years old, a retired schoolteacher who spent her career helping children find confidence in themselves. But in her own home, Eleanor admitted she often felt defeated. Her daughter lived nearby and loved dropping in with Eleanor's grandkids. But every time the knock came at the door, Eleanor would feel her stomach tighten. She'd rush to clear off the sofa, hide dishes in the oven, and apologize before anyone had even stepped inside. She confessed something heartbreaking. I started hoping my daughter wouldn't visit too often, not because I didn't want to see her, but because I couldn't bear the embarrassment anymore. Eleanor's story isn't rare. Many older women feel this exact same tension. The deep love for family and friends, but the constant fear that their clutter makes them look careless or incapable. But Eleanor's story doesn't end there. With a few simple but powerful changes, she transformed her home and her confidence. Instead of panic when visitors arrived, she felt calm, even proud. And she discovered something deeper. Decluttering wasn't about impressing others, it was about giving herself the peace she deserved. This video is for every senior who, like Eleanor, has felt that tension. And together, we'll explore the steps that experts say make the biggest difference, especially in 2025, when simplicity, safety, and emotional well-being matter more than ever. As we enter 2025, experts are warning seniors about something many of us don't realize. Clutter doesn't just create embarrassment when guests come over. It can quietly affect your health, your energy, and even your safety. Researchers at UCLA found that women living in cluttered homes had higher levels of cortisol, the stress hormone that makes you feel tired, anxious, and irritable. Think about that. Every pile of papers, every crowded counter, every closet bursting at the seams isn't just stuff. It's a silent stress trigger that weighs on your body and mind, every single day. For seniors, that stress is magnified. Clutter increases the risk of falls, slows you down when you're trying to find essentials like glasses or medications, and can even contribute to feelings of depression or loneliness. You see, clutter makes it harder to welcome people in, which means we sometimes shut people out. And over time, isolation can quietly chip away at our well-being. One senior I spoke with, Haroldine, admitted she stopped hosting her church friends for tea because her dining table was always buried under bills and newspapers. She said, "It was easier to say no than to face the shame." But that choice left her feeling lonelier than ever. This is why decluttering in 2025 isn't just about tidying up. It's about reclaiming peace, health, and connection. Experts say that every year you delay, clutter becomes harder to manage. Not only because it grows, but because your energy and mobility naturally shift as you age. That's why now, not later, is the time to take action. But here's the good news. You don't need to overhaul your whole house in one exhausting weekend. What you need is a smart plan, one that targets the areas that matter most, especially the ones visitors see first. And in the next part of this video, I'll share the step-by-step approach that helps seniors transform their homes without burning out. When guests step into your home, the very first spaces they see set the tone, not just for them but for how you feel in your own space. That's why experts recommend starting with the visitor-ready areas, the ones that give you immediate peace of mind and confidence. Step 1. The entryway. This is the first impression zone. Shoes piled by the door, stacks of unopened mail, or jackets draped over chairs all create a sense of chaos. Imagine instead a clear floor, a simple mat, maybe a small basket for keys and essentials. One senior I worked with said just clearing her entryway made her walk into her own home with a smile again. Step 2. The living room. This is where most of your conversations happen with visitors. Cluttered coffee tables filled with magazines or remotes make the space feel busy and uninviting. Experts suggest a one-surface, one-purpose rule. Keep your coffee table for a lamp, a small centerpiece, or maybe a book you're actually reading. The rest can be tucked away. Step 3. The dining table. Too often, dining tables turn into drop zones for papers, bags, and random clutter. But when visitors come over, you want that table ready for tea, a meal, or even just conversation. One woman I know, Althea, told me she hadn't eaten at her own dining table in years because it was covered in paperwork. After clearing it, she invited her daughter and grandkids over for dinner and said, "It felt like I got a piece of my family life back." Step 4. The guest bathroom. Even if it's just a quick visit, chances are someone will step into your bathroom. A cluttered sink with old toiletries, expired medications, or stacks of unused products can feel overwhelming to you and your guests. Experts suggest keeping only the essentials visible: soap, a towel, maybe a small plant or candle. The rest can be stored neatly out of sight. Step 5. The kitchen counters. For many seniors, the kitchen is the heart of the home. But when counters are crowded with appliances, dishes, or food items, it makes even simple tasks stressful. Clear counters not only look inviting, they also reduce the risk of accidents. Start by putting away anything you don't use daily. One small change makes a big impact here. When you focus on these 5 areas first, you don't just create a home that feels ready for visitors. You also create a home that feels lighter for yourself. These quick wins build momentum, making the rest of your decluttering journey less overwhelming. And here's something to remember. Decluttering isn't about perfection. Your visitors aren't expecting a magazine-perfect home. They just want to feel welcomed. What truly matters is creating a space where you feel proud to open the door, sit comfortably, and share your life without distraction or embarrassment. There's something deeply emotional about a space that feels open, calm, and welcoming, not just for your guests but for you. When your home is visitor-ready, it's not just about neatness, it's about freedom. Many seniors I've spoken with admitted that clutter often made them avoid inviting people over. One woman, Eleanor, told me she stopped hosting Sunday teas because her living room felt too crowded. She said, "I missed the company, but the thought of clearing the space every time exhausted me." After working through her checklist, she was surprised at how light she felt, not just in her home but in her spirit. She invited friends again and said, "It wasn't just my house that opened up. It was my heart." Psychologists say clutter creates a mental load, a background noise that constantly reminds you of what's unfinished. But when those visible spaces are clear, your brain relaxes. You're less self-conscious, less anxious, and more present. And there's another layer: relationships. When your home feels welcoming, you naturally invite others in more often. This strengthens bonds with family, friends, and neighbors, connections that are vital for emotional health as we age. Studies consistently show that seniors with strong social connections report lower stress levels, improved memory, and even longer lifespans. One gentleman I recall, Harold, told me he never had his grandchildren over because his dining table was always covered in boxes. The first time he cleared it, he had them sit with him for dinner. He said, "They didn't notice the table, they noticed me. And I realized I had been missing those moments because of clutter." So the emotional lift is real. Decluttering isn't just about making your home look better for others. It's about reclaiming your joy, your confidence, and your ability to open your doors freely. And here's the truth. Once you feel that emotional shift, decluttering stops being a chore. It becomes a gift you give yourself again and again. Here's the secret many people don't realize. Once you've done the heavier lifting of decluttering, staying guest-ready doesn't have to be hard. It's not about deep cleaning every day. It's about gentle, consistent maintenance that keeps your home feeling light. Think of it like brushing your teeth. You don't wait until there's a problem to start. You do a little bit each day so your smile stays healthy. Your home deserves the same care. Experts call this the 5-minute reset. Before you go to bed each night, take just 5 minutes to return items to their proper places. Fold the blanket on the couch, rinse the cup in the sink, sort the mail instead of leaving it in a pile. Small resets like this stop clutter from growing into something overwhelming. One woman I worked with, Agnes, admitted that her biggest problem was paper clutter. She used to let letters and bills stack up until it became too stressful to face. Then she started a simple routine. Every day after lunch, she'd take 2 minutes to sort papers into keep and recycle. She told me, "It's such a tiny thing, but it changed everything. I don't dread my kitchen counter anymore." Another helpful trick is what organizers call the one-touch rule. Instead of moving an item from place to place, deal with it the first time you touch it. If it's dirty laundry, put it straight in the hamper, not on a chair. If it's a shopping bag, unpack it immediately. This saves you from doubling your work later. And here's the beauty of these small steps. They build confidence. You stop feeling like your home is slipping away from you, and instead you feel in control. That sense of calm extends into every part of your day. Visitors notice it too. They may not comment on every little detail, but they feel the warmth of a home that's cared for. Not perfect, but welcoming. And that's what matters most. So don't think of maintenance as a burden. Think of it as a daily gift, a way to protect the peace you've worked so hard to create. At the end of the day, decluttering isn't just about creating a tidy home. It's about creating a space where both you and your visitors can truly breathe. When your environment feels lighter, you feel lighter. When your home is welcoming, you feel proud to open the door. I think of Eleanor, a grandmother in her late 70s who once told me, "For years, I kept people at arm's length because I was ashamed of my clutter. I didn't want anyone to see the piles. But after I slowly decluttered, I realized my home didn't have to be perfect to be filled with love. Now, I invite my grandchildren over without stress, and we make memories I'll carry forever." That's the real gift of decluttering. It doesn't just clear your shelves, it clears your heart. It gives you room for connection, laughter, and rest. It allows your home to be a place of joy, not judgment. And here's the truth. Your visitors don't care if every corner shines. They care about how they feel when they're with you. Decluttering simply removes the distractions that keep you from showing up fully in those moments. So, as 2025 unfolds, I encourage you to take this step. Not for appearances, not for others, but for yourself. Because a clutter-free home is a gift you give to your future self every single day. Now, before you click away, let me leave you with this. Don't wait for the perfect time. Start with one drawer, one shelf, or one corner today. By the time visitors arrive, you won't just have a cleaner home. You'll have a calmer heart. And if this video touched you, please take a moment to subscribe. It's a small click for you, but it means the world to me. And it ensures you'll never miss more encouragement, stories, and gentle steps to living lighter in these precious years. Remember this. Your home should reflect peace, not pressure. And you deserve nothing less.